What is up YouTube? This is Alex aka Foreign, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about choosing between two of the best mid-tier 1080p cards out right now, and also a little bit about this giveaway that I'm planning. Now, you're in the market for a new GPU and want to spend under $200. Your main choices then would be the GTX 1050 Ti and RX 470 4GB. I recommend the 4GB cards as it's the perfect amount of VRAM for 1080p up to around mid-2018, when we will most probably start needing 6GB as the minimum. 2GB is definitely not enough today, and even though 3GB is okay now, but be prepared that before 2018 hits, you will be having VRAM issues in newer games. Now, the GTX 1050 Ti comes in at an MSRP of around $140, whereas the RX 470's MSRP is $170. Here are some relative performance results from November, courtesy of techpowerup.com. We can see that the RX 470 is usually 20 to 25% faster on average. Even in GTA 5, a game in which Radeon cards usually perform around 5% worse than their Nvidia counterparts, the RX 470 is noticeably faster than the 1050 Ti. Also, considering that AMD RTG constantly improves performance on their drivers, the RX 470 is probably even more ahead of the 1050 Ti because of the real-life update and will be faster with future updates. That brings me to the conclusion that the 1050 Ti is worth the money only if it is under $150, because when you're in that $160 range, the RX 470 would be a much better buy as it's that much faster. Getting those extra $10 to $20 should be a major concern in this price range, as the performance benefits will be very noticeable, over 10 FPS in-game if we average it out. But that doesn't in any way exclude the GTX 1050 Ti, as it's a great card because of one major feature: its power efficiency. Now, if you have a pre-built computer with a GT 740 or any other old and useless card, then you most probably have a 300 watt PSU of unknown origins. If your CPU is relatively good, like a Skylake i3-6100 or even a Sandy Bridge i5, then for 1080p 60 FPS gaming, you're totally fine. The only thing holding you back then is the graphics card. The GTX 1050 Ti, as we can see here, is around 20% faster than a GTX 960, the go-to 1080p Nvidia card last gen. The 1050 Ti is so power efficient that there are tons of models under $150, even $160, that don't require auxiliary power, meaning that it can run on the PCI slot alone, so you don't have to worry about upgrading your power supply. That makes for a great upgrade to a pre-built system with a crappy PSU. But again, if your power supply is around that 400 watt range and has okay quality, then the RX 470 would be hands down the better choice. The GTX 1050 Ti is the better choice only when getting a card that has no power inputs. I'll be making videos about which GTX 1050 and RX 470 to buy in January, February, so stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about the giveaway. I have a code here for a game that I really enjoy. I'd say it's one of my most beloved series of all time, and that's Hitman. This is the intro pack for the new Hitman game, meaning it includes the first 2 training missions and the Paris level, which is huge compared to Absolution, for instance, or even Blood Money levels. These levels give you a taste of what the game is about. If you enjoy stealth-based exploratory gameplay, then I'd recommend Hitman as one of the best games in that genre. I was even thinking of making a review-like video of the game. Drop your thoughts in the comments section if you'd like to see something like that. To enter, basically click the Gleam link in the description. All I have to do is be subscribed to the channel, but you can also get more entries by referring your friends. If you have any questions or comments, then please leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video for more stuff like this in the future. I thank you for your attention and hope to see you later.